Welcome to the session on Educational Psychology, Module 2, Session 14. A quick recap. In the previous session, we discussed Bandura's social cognitive theory. In this session, we will understand observational learning. We briefly touched on the topic and today we will discuss this in depth. Observational learning that involves acquiring skills, strategies, and beliefs by observing others. Processes in observational learning by Bandura describes four key processes in observational learning: attention, retention, production, and motivation. Observational learning is a learning that involves acquiring skills, strategies, and beliefs by observing others. A major component of social cognitive theory is observational learning. Bandura's ideas about learning stood in contrast to those of behaviorists like Skinner, and according to Skinner, learning could only be achieved by taking individual action. However, Bandura claimed that observational learning, through which people observe and imitate models they encounter in their environment, enables people to acquire information much more quickly. Observational learning occurs through a sequence of four processes: attentional process, retention process, production process, and motivational process. Attentional processes account for the information that is selected for observation in the environment. People might select to observe real life models or models they encounter via media. Retention processes involve remembering the observed information so it can be successfully recalled and reconstructed later. Production processes reconstruct the memories of the observations so what was learnt can be applied in appropriate situations. In many cases, this doesn't mean the observer will replicate the observed action exactly, but that they will modify the behavior to produce a variation that fits the context. Motivational processes determine whether or not an observed behavior is performed based on whether that behavior was observed to result in desired or adverse outcomes for the model. If an observed behavior was rewarded, the observer will be more motivated to reproduce it later. However, if a behavior was punished in some way, the observer would be less motivated to reproduce it. Thus, cognitive theory cautions that people don't perform every behavior they learn through modeling. They only replicate those behaviors that are rewarded. We will understand observational learning through examples. A child watches their parent folding the laundry. They later pick up some clothing and imitate folding the clothes. Another example is a young couple goes on a date to a Chinese restaurant. They watch other diners in the restaurant eating with chopsticks and copy their actions in order to learn how to use these utensils. The third example is a child watches a classmate get in trouble for hitting another child. They learn from observing this interaction that they should not hit others. And the fourth example is a group of children play hide and seek at recess. One child joins the group but has never played before and is not sure what to do. After observing the other children play, they quickly learn the basic rules of the game and join in. Some of the real world applications include the link between observational learning and violence. Research shows that there is a link between video game violence and aggressive behavior. They found that in lab studies, students who played a violent video game behaved more aggressively than those who had not played a violent game. Therefore, positive observational learning becomes important. This is often linked to negative or undesirable behaviors, the observational learning, but it can also be used to inspire some positive behaviors. Television programming has been used to promote a range of healthy behaviors. For example, non-profit organizations have produced programming aimed at preventing HIV/AIDS transmission, reducing pollution, and promoting family planning. Observational learning can be a powerful learning tool. When we think about the concept of learning, we often talk about direct instruction or methods that rely on reinforcement and punishment. But a great deal of learning takes place much more subtly and relies on watching the people around us and modeling their actions. This learning method can be applied in a wide range of settings, including job training, education, counseling, and psychotherapy. Summarizing the session, Bandura describes four key processes in observational learning, that is, attention, retention, production, and motivation. Observational learning is involved in many aspects of children's lives, including the classroom and the media. Here are some references to explore the concepts further. Thank you.